Hey, get comfortable. This is the story of a man who became king at 20, conquered the known world by 30, and died at 32. If you end up enjoying it, I'd appreciate if you subscribed. No pressure, just if it resonates. I'd love to have you here. Now, let's talk about Alexander the Great. 336 BC, Macedonia. A 20-year-old prince receives the news. His father, King Philip II, has been assassinated, stabbed to death at his daughter's wedding. The kingdom is in chaos. Greece is divided. Enemies see opportunity. A young, untested king. Easy prey. Alexander inherits the throne with enemies on every border. The Greek city-states are plotting rebellion. Persia, the superpower of the ancient world, is watching. Most 20-year-olds would collapse under this pressure. Alexander doesn't. Within 2 years, he'll crush every rebellion. Within 10, he'll conquer the largest empire the world has ever seen. And he'll never lose a single battle. Born in 356 BC, Alexander wasn't born into peace. Macedonia was a warrior state, constantly at war. His father, Philip II, transformed Macedonia from a backwater into a military powerhouse. He created the phalanx, a formation of soldiers with long spears that became nearly unstoppable. But Philip did something else. He hired Aristotle to tutor his son. For 3 years, Alexander studied philosophy, science, politics, literature. He read Homer's Iliad obsessively. His hero was Achilles, the greatest warrior of Greek mythology. Alexander didn't just want to be a king. He wanted to be a legend. At 16, while Philip was at war, Alexander was left in charge. A northern tribe rebelled. Alexander led the army himself, crushed the rebellion, founded a city named after himself. At 16, by 18 he fought at the Battle of Chaeronea, the battle that made Macedonia dominant. Alexander led the cavalry charge that broke the enemy line. In 336 BC, Philip was murdered. Alexander became king. First, Alexander secures his throne, ruthlessly. Anyone who might challenge him, rivals, potential heirs, is eliminated. Then he turns to Greece. The Greek city-states had been forced into alliance with Philip. With him dead, they see their chance to break free. Thebes rises in rebellion. They think Alexander is too young to stop them. Alexander marches 240 miles in 2 weeks. Arrives before they realize he's coming. He offers them a choice: surrender or be destroyed. Thebes refuses. Alexander obliterates the city. 6,000 killed, 30,000 sold into slavery. The city is razed except for temples and the poet Pindar's house. The message is clear. Alexander is more ruthless than his father. The rest of Greece falls in line immediately. With Greece secured, Alexander looks east. The Persian Empire has dominated for 200 years. It stretches from Egypt to India. Millions of people. Endless wealth. Most kings would never attack Persia. Alexander doesn't dream. He plans. In 334 BC, at age 22, Alexander crosses into Asia with 40,000 men. His first battle is at the Granicus River. Persian governors field a defensive force at the riverbank. Alexander charges across himself, leading from the front. His helmet is split by an axe. He's nearly killed, but his cavalry smashes through. The Persians break. Alexander wins. First battle, first victory. 333 BC, the Battle of Issus. Alexander faces Darius III, the Persian king himself. Darius brings a massive army, maybe 100,000 men. Alexander has 40,000. They meet on a narrow coastal plain. Terrain limits the Persian advantage. Alexander does something insane. He leads a cavalry charge directly at Darius, straight through the Persian center, aiming for the king. He crashes through, gets within striking distance. Darius panics, turns and runs. Once the Persians see their king fleeing, the army collapses. Alexander captures Darius's family, mother, wife, daughters, but he treats them with honor, gives them royal quarters. It's not mercy, it's propaganda. He's showing he's not a barbarian. He's a legitimate ruler. After Issus, Alexander marches into Egypt. Egypt has been under Persian rule for 200 years. They hate the Persians. They welcome Alexander as a liberator, crown him pharaoh. Alexander travels to the Oracle of Siwa, one of the most sacred sites in the ancient world. The oracle confirms he's the son of Zeus. Whether Alexander believes it doesn't matter. From that moment, he presents himself as divine, destined for greatness. He founds Alexandria on the Egyptian coast. It becomes one of the greatest cities in the ancient world. 331 BC, the Battle of Gaugamela. Darius chooses the battlefield, a massive flat plain, perfect for cavalry and chariots. He fields between 100,000 and 250,000 troops, war elephants, scythed chariots. Alexander has 47,000 men. Darius sends scythed chariots. Alexander's troops open gaps. The chariots roll through harmlessly. His men close ranks and slaughter the drivers. Then Alexander leads a cavalry wedge at Darius. Again, Darius breaks, flees. The Persian army collapses. Alexander marches into Babylon. Susa, Persepolis, takes the royal treasury. By age 25, he rules the largest empire the world has ever seen. But he doesn't stop. Alexander keeps going, east, always east, through Afghanistan, over the Hindu Kush mountains, into Central Asia, then India. 326 BC, he faces King Porus at the Hydaspes River. Porus has war elephants. The Macedonian horses panic. Alexander adapts, isolates and kills the elephants, wins, barely, but his army has had enough. 8 years of marching, deserts, mountains, jungles. They've conquered the known world. They want to go home. Alexander wants to keep going, to reach the edge of the world. But his men refuse. For the first time, Alexander agrees to turn back. The return is a disaster. Alexander marches through the Cadrosian desert. one of the harshest on earth. Thousands die. By the time they reach Babylon, Alexander is exhausted. His body is covered in scars, but he's still planning. Arabia, North Africa, maybe Rome. Then, in June 323 BC, Alexander falls ill. Fever, weakness. Within days, he's bedridden. His generals ask, who will inherit the empire? Alexander's answer, the strongest. On June 10th or 11th, Alexander dies. He's 32 years old. His empire immediately fractures. His generals tear it apart in decades of war. But Alexander's legend doesn't die. Over 70 cities named after him. His tactics studied for 2,000 years. Napoleon studies Alexander. Julius Caesar weeps at his statue, lamenting he's accomplished nothing at the same age. Alexander spread Greek culture across the known world. The Hellenistic period shapes art, science, philosophy for generations. King at 20, conqueror of the world by 30, dead at 32, undefeated in over 70 battles, not a single loss. Some call him a tyrant, a warmonger, a megalomaniac. Others call him the greatest military mind in history, a visionary who connected East and West. Maybe he was both. What's undeniable? Alexander changed the world, faster and more completely than almost anyone in history. If this story made you think, I'd appreciate if you subscribed. There are more legends like this. People who defied the odds and changed everything. Thanks for being here.